Hello, everyone. Welcome home for a virtual evening with the Tohoku University family. My name is Yuka Sakamoto, a staff member in the Global Learning Center at Tohoku University, and I will be the MC for this event. It's been a very cold week here in Sendai, and we had the first snow of the season this week. I'm sure that you still remember the cold winter time in Sendai while you were studying at Tohoku University. So today's event is being held as part of the special university-wide event called Tohoku University Online Alumni Festival, where a series of alumni events are conducted throughout the month of December. During today's online get-together, 4 alumni will share their experiences of the pandemic in their countries, the impact it has had on their work and lifestyles, and how they're coping. And they will also talk about their experience of studying at Tohoku University and their careers since graduation. Before we begin this talk session, I would like your cooperation in creating a smooth online event experience by following the guidelines shown on the screen. We would love to see your faces and reactions. So if you don't mind, please turn on your camera. I also would like to inform you that this event will be recorded by the host of the event, and later on it will be posted on the university website. Please refrain from recording audio or video and taking photos of other participants. During the talk session, we welcome questions and comments from the audience. So if you wish to ask a question or make a comment, please do so in the chat box. Now, I would like to introduce the speakers of the event. Today, we have 4 special speakers. Parichato-san from Thailand, Hafiz-san from Malaysia, Selma-san from Ghana, and Anandita-san from Nepal. Anandita-san is currently working in Japan. Okay, so I would like everyone to introduce themselves. So let's start with Parichato-san.
Hello everyone, my name is Parichat Vechayon. I'm from Thailand. I'm graduate from Geophysics, Faculty of Science, Tohoku University in 2013. And then I spent a short time in Tohoku University as the research assistant. After that, I came back to Thailand in 2014, and I got a job as the lecturer in Mahidol University, the Environmental Engineering and Disaster Management program until 2017. After that, I moved to the current university as the lecturer in the Department of Geography, Sinically Mirod University. I started my career in the Thai University. I express my knowledge that which I ever learned in Tohoku University in the 2 books of the earth science subject for the high school level. And then I joined a team of the mentor of the Thai team to take the high school student participate in the International Earth Science Olympiad. And I joined the team of the set up examination questions for the ordinary national educational test in for the Thai student in the atmospheric part. I hope that everyone that participate in this event, we could share some new idea and some information that we can move our Tohoku University alumni getting more stronger. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Parichato-san. So next speaker is Hafiz-san.
Hello, konbanwa. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, can I get my slide? Hi, apa kabar means konnichiwa. So my name is Muhammad Hafizah bin Muhammad Isa. So currently I'm working with University Science Malaysia under the School of Housing, Building and Planning. So my major is in architecture, specifically in sustainable architecture. So at the moment, apart from being a lecturer, I also becoming the board of advisor for internationalization at USM. So before this, since 2013 until 2019, I'm the Deputy Director of International at USM. And then for your information, I graduated from Tohoku University in 2013. And then under the Graduate School of Engineering, Department of Architecture and Building Science, located in Aobayama campus. Okay, next. So this is part of my life, which is I miss a lot in Japan. You know, like my imonikai with my lab mates, you know, the big earthquake happening in 2011. You know, if you see the children photo down there, it's actually my part-time job. You know, like many international students doing their abaito in Sendai or throughout Japan. So I'm becoming like English teacher to the students. And then that is our winter seminar or maybe like summer seminar with my lab. You can see Kokeshi door at the back. So we went to, how to say, like a resort somewhere, you know, in outskirts of Sendai. And then that is one of the event with the photo down there. That is one of the event, Kohaku, if I'm not mistaken, which I joined under DIEE last time. Okay, next. So at the moment, I try to set up Tohoku University Malaysian Student Alumni Association with you know, all the Malaysian students who has been studied at Tohoku University. So at the moment we have 50 members. So I know that the number is actually bigger than that. I think we have more than 100 alumni from Malaysia. And then basically they are all from engineering faculty or departments, yeah. And then at the moment, you know, if you look at the charts down there, most of them actually working in the top managerial posts or like senior lecturer or lecturers, yeah. And then later on, I will discuss further about the experience of our alumni from Malaysia with the rest of you. I'm so glad, yeah, to be able to meet you guys, you know, even though it's online, but this is a good way for us to unite. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Hafiz-san. So next speaker is Selma-san from Ghana.
Hi, everyone. My name is Selma Awumbil. I'm a lawyer. I work with the Ghana Great Company Limited in Ghana. I graduated from the Tohoku University Graduate School of International Cultural Studies in 2017, after which I moved back to Ghana, where I was already working as a lawyer. And I continued working there whilst doing a part-time PhD at the Graduate School of Law at Tohoku University, which I'm still currently doing. At my job in Ghana, I work on advising both international and local transactions, from financing through to procurement, contract award, project management, and to the defect liability stage. And because I work for a power company which also deals with communication, I also advise the both on the Ghana power market and the government agencies on policies that affect the energy and communication sectors of the country. In addition, I work on a part-time basis as a consulting partner at M&O Law Consult, which is a private firm in Ghana. And what I do is advise on corporate and commercial transactions. I think part that I miss most in Sendai is the snow, like we were talking about yesterday. And I'm actually looking forward to having a good discussion, guys.
Thank you very much, Selma-san. So next speaker is Anandita-san.
Hi everyone, my name is Anandita Gurung and I work as a product manager at Edacode. Next slide please. So I actually recently graduated from Tohoku University in September 2019 and ever since then I have been working as a product manager at Edacode in Tokyo. Before that, I was working as a language assistant at United Nations Office for Project Services. And I did my master's at Kathmandu University. So I'm actually originally from Nepal. And next slide, please. So as a product manager, I am involved in around 20 shopping mall websites, which are a part of a credit card companies in Japan. And what I do there is I oversee the project and also operate and manage the websites with my team. I'm also involved in data analysis and making business proposals and also thinking of a new business. Although it has only been almost a year since I joined the company, I have made a business proposal in Japanese, which I am personally quite proud of, which I didn't think that I could do that. So I would later talk about my job experiences and job hunting experiences in Japan too. So that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anandita-san, and thank you very much for joining the event. So now we would like to move on to the talk session. For those who just joined the event, I would like to inform you that the talk session will revolve around three main topics. First topic is the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Second topic is studies and research experience at Tohoku University. Third is career development. Okay, I believe we have some current Tohoku University students today who are attending this event, and I'm sure that they will be interested in hearing speaker stories as well as some tips on career development. So once we go through all the topic, I will pick up some questions from the audience. If your question is directed to a particular speaker, I would appreciate your indicating that in the chat box. And due to time constraints, we may not be able to go over all the questions from the audience. So we appreciate your understanding in advance. Also, I may ask the audience to add comments by using the microphone. So during the talk session, the audience can unmute themselves. Once you finish your comment, please don't forget to mute your microphone, okay? So I would like to start off by asking some of the speakers about the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. This year has been a very difficult year for many of us in the world. Can I ask Parichato-san, Hafiz-san, and Selma-san to share your experiences of the pandemic in your country, the impact it has had on your work and lifestyles, and how you're coping? So let's start with Parichato-san.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, as I think everyone already know that Thailand has been one of the most successful nations for recovering from COVID-19. Yeah, and also regarding that, we impose a strict and the long period of the lockdown, to prevent the COVID-19. Yeah, this action also immediately affected our daily life, of course. Yeah, because it creates a new lifestyle that maybe everyone already know that we call the new normal style, right? Yeah, and that new normal style, make us our life is changed from every day. For example, right now when I'm go out from my home, I expected to wear mask, always wearing mask every time. Yeah, before the COVID-19 outbreak, we never. And maybe some people when saw wearing mask when I get the cold, they will feel strange. Yeah, why you have to wear it? But right now it's become normal in our society. And also it's affected my working, since after the government announced for the lockdown, suddenly everything stopped. And I was teaching in university. I should stop to go to university, and I switch the teaching system into the online system. So not just me, also the student as well have to do that. So both of me, student and me, have to spend a lot of time to learn how to teach and learn by the online system. For me, I spend a lot of time to prepare the teaching material for the online. That's why I feel it's so tough during the COVID lockdown. I'm stay home, but I have to do many things. I think maybe also another speaker also feel the experience, the same experience as me. So another impact in Thailand is like my student who graduate this year. They cannot find job in a company, because the economic downturn in Bangkok right now. So for example, one of my students, he cannot get job, but then he bought a motorcycle, and right now he be the cab rider. He work like a delivery, some food and commercial goods, and some document and another thing to the people who working at home. They said this one is can earn money better than working in company right now. That is a quite change, like some career are die in the society right now, and some new careers was born during the COVID in Thailand. Maybe move to another speaker.
Okay, Parichato-san, thank you very much for sharing your experience and situation in Thailand. So how about the situation in Malaysia, Hafiz-san?
Yeah, thank you, Sakamoto-san. So in Malaysia, at the moment, we have more than 1,000 cases, like daily cases, And then before this, we, like Thailand, we also imposed lockdown in our country. And then since Malaysia is the importer for gas and petroleum, so it is not a good movement for us, because we need to stimulate our economy. So now, in terms of lockdown, they try to concentrate at certain areas where the cases is higher, something like that. And then because I'm working at University Science Malaysia, like it is impacted us a lot. Students cannot graduate, something like that. They can graduate, but we don't have the ceremony yet. And then the courses, like for example, that requires practical exercise, like architecture, they have studios, medicine, they have to go to the hospital. Those students are impacted very much, so that they cannot have this peer learning from their friends. And then University Science Malaysia is one of the public university in Malaysia, and then most of our students are from the B40. So it's like bottom 40% of Malaysian population, so they earn less. So it is very hard for us in terms of doing our online courses with them, because most of them have limited access to internet, and then they don't have gadget. However, the government and University Science Malaysia itself have come up with a good new policy where we give a free, network to students, like SIM card and whatnot. And then we have this one student, one mobile policy, where USM has, collected fund from staff and then injected a little bit by the government, so that we can buy gadgets and send it to students. And then at the moment, most of the courses, before this we have coursework and exam. Now we are focusing more like 100% coursework rather than doing final exam, because if you want to do exam, you have to make it like open exam for the student, and then sometimes it's quite hard. And then we are concerned about students' fatigue, where they have to look at computer for a very long period of time, doing assignments as well as following lectures. So there's a lot of, problem or issue as well by doing these online programs or online classes. Thank you, Sakamoto-san.
Thank you very much, Hafiz-san. We have similar situations everywhere. So what about the situation in Ghana, Selma-san?
So for Ghana, it's also a similar situation. At the beginning of the pandemic, everyone was scared that the situation will be worse in Africa because, well, we are more crowded and already we have a problem with sanitation and stuff. But luckily, it hasn't been that bad in Africa. I think currently we have an infection rate of just about 50 people a day in Ghana. And most people who get it, I think part of the reason in my country, for example, are asymptomatic. So they don't have symptoms and they don't go to hospital. And so they are not tested. It's only those who show symptoms that go to hospital. So maybe that's part of the reason. For me, it affected my workplace because sometime in June, about 40 staff members of my company got the virus. And so we had to shut down. And even though we have to shut down, some people still have to work because I work for a power company and we are the only power transmission company in the country. So power has to be transmitted. So we still have to go to work. So that was one of the biggest challenges. And for me personally, because I'm a lawyer, even when everything is shut down, I still have to go to court. And I don't know about other countries, but the court system is usually the oldest, most unmodern system. And so we still deal with paperwork. And you go to court and you still have to touch documents and give out documents and give it to the judge, give it to the clerk, give it to other lawyers. And so you're really scared because you have to touch documents all the time and have to keep sanitizing your hands. And in Ghana, we use the British system. So we wear the wigs and the gown. And so you're always scared that, your gown is kind of like touching other people and flying all over the place and you might get infected. But thankfully, I haven't been infected. My company tests us regularly. So, thankfully, the cases haven't been that bad, but it's affected a lot of people because there's been a lot of loss of jobs. It's also helped other people also find other ways of doing businesses. Excuse me. So for Ghana, for example, just as in I think Thailand, most of the companies started doing a lot of delivery businesses. Companies started going online. We have a lot of food vendors in Ghana where people just stop by the roadside to buy food, but then now they started doing delivery and online services as well. And it's luckily, like for Africa, I would say that we've been blessed. I don't know, maybe it's because of the heat, but it hasn't been too bad for us. And I just pray that it's not going to get worse. And so far, that's been our experience here in Ghana. And I hope that very soon the cure will come out and we can all go back to life as it used to be. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Selma-san. Thank you all for sharing your experiences of the pandemic in your countries. I would like to share a little bit about what's happening at Tohoku University. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, our first semester classes were conducted entirely online. It was very, very challenging for me as I teach a course on Sendai Tanabata Festival, as you can see on my virtual background. And we're currently in the midst of the second semester, and some classes are held in person, and research activities are conducted following the established infection prevention measures. And we also resumed welcoming new international students, mainly degree-seeking students and researchers, in accordance with the government's guidelines. Okay. So now I would like to move on to the topic of study and research experience at Tohoku University. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. We were just, before this event, we were talking about how some of the speakers were carrying furniture. So you might be able to hear that story from some of them. So first, I would like to hear from all the speakers about their experience at Tohoku University, as well as some positive aspects of conducting your studies or research at the university. So why don't we start with Anandita-san?
Sure. I had a time of my life at Tohoku University. So I guess, usually when you do a PhD, they say that it's hard to balance your research and, the time to do your stuff that you really want to do, like fun things. But I am glad, and because I got to enjoy my life in Sendai as well as do my research and, graduate on time. So that was really nice. I particularly like the support of Mori members, Mori group. I don't know if you know it. They were really nice, and to this day, I am still in touch with some of the Mori members, and they were really nice and helped us feel at home and explore the Tohoku. The festivals, oh my god, at Sendai was awesome. I had the opportunity to participate in a Aoba Matsuri dance, so that was nice. Suzume Odori, we did the Suzume Odori for 2 consecutive years, and not just that, other festivals too. And I think the overall international community of Tohoku University was very supportive and very nice. About research, I had my full, support from my professor, which I'm really, really grateful for. My mentor, my supervisor was Professor Dr. Jotaro Urabe, and he was, really helpful. And the only, I think, downside was that my dormitory was really far from my lab. So it meant that, I had to sometimes take my bike from Sanjomachi all the way to Aobayama. But nevertheless, it was really fun experience. I am really glad. And when I look back of my life in Sendai, I think those were some of my, 3 most treasured moments in life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anandita-san. Group Mori members are still active in supporting, providing assistance to international students. Yes.
Yeah, I'm really grateful to have them.
Yeah, they're always kind.
Yeah.
What about your experience, Selma-san?
So for me, wow, I think I had like a very vast experience in Tohoku University. With the academics, my professor was like amazing. He really like took me through everything step by step. It was, because I'm from the energy sector, so he tried to get us appointments to go and see various energy plants, a power plant in Sendai, to go and see a nuclear plant, solar, different things that I could bring back home that would help me with my experience here. Excuse me, please. And then when it comes to my personal life, so I was part of the Tohoku tourism ambassadors, and this was a group set up by I think the Tohoku government, and we're basically going to places, just experiencing life in the Tohoku region, and then we would just go on social media and then just talk about our experiences and share pictures so that other people get to see the fun parts of living in Sendai. And then I also was able to join the African Association of Miyagi, which is basically just a group of Africans, most of us in Tohoku University or graduates of Tohoku University, but then other universities as well, who basically were just sharing our experience and our life and supporting each other there. And actually, I have never met as many Africans in Ghana as I did when I was in Tohoku University. I think I only have one Nigerian friend when I was in Ghana, but now I have so many of them. And even now, they still support me. When I got back at the private firm I work at, we had a client who wanted to set up have a patent in each African country. And so I contacted the AFAM executive, and then they were telling me, you know what, you should speak to this person, speak to that person. And then we were able to help our client, who was a British client, be able to do this in
I couldn't hear you, Selma.
Selma-san.
Sendai and go through everything. Hello?
Yeah, we couldn't hear part of your comments, but now I can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying that I had a baby when I was in Sendai. And so I also experienced the healthcare system in Sendai and the school system because my son went to daycare whilst I was there. So I think that I had like a very vast experience when it came to my private as against my public, my school and education. And my professor was supportive throughout it all. He supported me. He assisted me any way I wanted. And then even now with like doing my PhD and working in Ghana, because I share my time now between Sendai and Ghana. And my Professor Kabashima at the Graduate School of Law, he's like the best professor ever. He's like supported me throughout. And he's always communicating with me. Every time I need something, he's like, we just go back and forth. And he's like an amazing person. And so far, my experience at Tohoku University has been best ever. Other students learn from my experience or from other experiences and are open to learning a lot from Tohoku University. Yes.
Thank you so much, Selma-san, for sharing your experience at Tohoku University. How about your experience, Hafiz-san?
Thank you, Sakamoto-san. I think, it depends on which level that you are studying, whether you are studying undergraduate, master, or PhD. Definitely when you study with your PhD, sometimes, life tag along with you along the way when you study, yeah? Like for example, you have family, or you leave your family at home, back home in Malaysia or something like that. I have ups and downs, yeah, in Japan. Japan in general is so great. It's fine, the university, everything, the place is so good. But in terms of my life, yeah, like for example, 2 weeks after I arrived in Japan, our baby died. Okay, at that time. And then Arona-san, Suematsu Sensei is the one who really helped me a lot. And then afterwards, after a year, my father passed away. And then we have a huge earthquake in Japan in 2011. So by right, I can break easily, like for example, when I was in Japan with a lot of pressure, yeah, like family pressure and whatnot. But with a good system that Tohoku University offers, I don't know, everything seems so easy for me to go through, yeah? So there are 4 things which I found out that really helps me a lot, like support me all the way until I graduated, yeah? So the first one is actually the buddy system. Before I entered Tohoku University, after I contacted with my sensei, sensei started to assign me with a student, a Japanese native speaker. So he helps me a lot before I arrive and after I arrive, to settle down with my registrations and whatnot at the university. So he will do all the communication in Japanese, and then I will do with him in English, something like that. Because like in the beginning, I supposed to go to Germany for my PhD, but afterwards my application has been, disapproved. So from my university, because I received a scholarship from USM, and then they asked me to change to another country. Then I choose Japan, which I didn't make any preparation at all in terms of language and whatnot. And then after I received the scholarship, and then I just go directly to Japan. So the first one is the buddies. The buddy system is amazing. That really helped me a lot. The second thing is my community, Malaysian community in Japan. So before I arrived in Japan, I asked the administrative officer at Tohoku University, is there any Malaysian who are currently enrolled at Tohoku University? So he gave me a list of students, like for example, after Tohoku University contacted the community, so they allow to share emails and phone number. So I contacted Malaysian community before I depart to Japan. So this is my second support. The third one is through organization. After I arrived in Japan, the Kaikan officer start to introduce me to other international students, and we start to build network. Like I joined other lots of organizations like TUMCA. I joined program with the IEE. I joined, for example, Haginokai, kind of, it's like host family program and in Sendai. So this is another support system that I have. And then the other one is you yourself. You know, like for example, me, myself, I have to be open-minded. I mean, like, accept differences, you know, like for example, language, food and whatnot. If like, for example, we don't open our heart, then it is very hard for us to survive in Japan, because Japan is a very unique country with very interesting cultures. So if you don't embrace all of these differences, definitely you cannot survive in Japan. So basically that is my experience, and I really enjoy, you know, strolling around, you know, Hachimancho, looking at the ginkgo trees, especially during autumn when the leaves start to change to yellow. Yeah, and then because my campus is actually Abayama campus, so taking uphill, you know, during winter is a bit challenging. Yeah, especially you know, when you drive, and then snowy. I love that. Yeah, I really enjoy that. Thank you, Sakamoto-san.
Thank you very much. Wow, exciting stories. Thank you. How about you, Parichato-san?
Yeah, I think I has a similar experience with the the previous speaker, the Hafizan-san, right? Yeah, sorry if I pronounce your name.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, because I was there when the earthquake is happened in 2011, and that is make a lot of challenge in my life. Yeah, because after the earthquake is hit Tohoku regions, yeah. After that, maybe 3 days later, I came back to Thailand and I stay in the Thailand for a month. Yeah. After that, my supervisor called me back to Japan because he worried about me that I will give up to study PhD in Tohoku University. Yeah. And then I said, Sensei, I cannot came back to Sendai because I cannot live in Sendai. Regard to my apartment, they have the disruption in the electrical and gas line, so I cannot use gas and electric well. Yeah, so I said I cannot back, and then my supervisor said it's okay. Okay, I will send you to the my research network in Kyoto University. So I was sent to the Kyoto University, and I do the research over there for 2 months. Yeah. After that, everything is fine, and Tohoku University is recovered. So I came back to Tohoku University and finished my PhD. Yeah. But that earthquake affect my life as well because I have to graduate half year delay. Yeah, I was graduate a half year late. Yeah, from the actual schedule. Yeah, and then I feel it's very hard. It's so hard for me because I live in Sendai without scholarship, so I have to pay the apartment rental and the tuition fee and the daily expense by myself. Yeah, but I can overcome that challenge because a lot of system and a lot of support from university and my supervisor. Yeah, for example, Tohoku University waive the tuition fee for me in that semester, so I don't need to pay it. Yeah, and I have the problem that I have not enough money to pay the apartment rental, and then I went to the Kawaji. They have the international office to consult about this problem, and then they they help me to I can enter the international house JASO in Sanjomaji, I think. That's one. And then my supervisor also helped me as well. Yeah, he employed me as the researcher assistant in library, so I can earn some money to spend in my everyday life in Sendai. Yeah, so it's made me graduate until now. Yeah, so I think the key point that can make me overcome that challenge is from the encourage from university, and also from my supervisor. Yeah, and the important is the Japanese friend in library, foreigner friend, and especially from the Thai student, because we have the Thai Student Association in Sendai, so they also help me and encourage me to overcome that problem, and yeah, we are here today. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Parichato-san. Coming from another country and studying, in a Japanese university, you always have good memories, but sometimes, you face some difficulties. So the next question came from a participant who registered for this event. What are some of the challenges that you encountered as a student, or anxiety that you experienced during research as a student? And how did you overcome those challenges? If you have any tips for managing anxiety, please share with the audience. So can we start with Selma-san? Selma-san, maybe she's not available at the moment. Can we start with Hafiz-san? Some of the challenges,
yes.
Managing anxiety. I'm sure you experienced that.
A lot, my sensei always told me, oh, Hafiz, you are very, very productive. You have published journals, and then you also have 2 kids. Because when I live in Japan, I have 2 kids. Both of my daughter and son were born in Japan during my study. So there's a lot of, issues along the way. Yeah, but in order for me to avoid from having those anxiety and whatnot, I always join a lot of programs organized by Tohoku University or external parties, like my host family program and whatnot. So by joining these cultural activities, engage with local Japanese people, it makes you feel close at home. Rather than you think about your family at home, you are far away, nobody going to take care of you, but there are a lot of people who are interested in you, and then they really do care about you. So for me, I joined a lot of programs by DIEE. One of the programs that I'm really proud of is Papa Mama project done by DIEE last time. So I've co-wrote a book with other students at Tohoku University at that time about how you want to give birth and child rearing in Japan, in Sendai at that time. So because I've joined this support group, Papa Mama project by Tohoku University, because they know my situation. So they invited me to join that event in Kokusai Center. So a lot of young parents, like expecting babies and whatnot, join that event as well. So it can divert my focus, from thinking about my lost baby last time. So about thinking about conceiving a new baby or something like that, new children, and to take care of ourselves on how to go through pregnancy and whatnot. So I can give a lot of support to my wife as well. So I think by joining a lot of external activities, and then I think it can divert your attention from the issue or problem that you have. So I think that is for me.
Thank you so much, Hafiz-san. How about you, Parichato-san?
For me, in my case, I think what's the most challenges is how to say, the different gender barrier. Because be the only one foreigner student in my library, and maybe at that time only me be the female student in library. So it makes me difficulty to talk with the Tohoku boy. Because maybe the Japanese boy, especially in Tohoku region, they are very shy and they don't talk much. So when I was in first week of my library, I didn't talk with anyone because I'm just say hello and goodbye. Maybe almost 1 week, and then I feel it's not. I cannot live there. I cannot graduate. If I stay here in this situation, so I'm trying to make friends in library. I'm searching what is the traditional that the Japanese doing. And then I found they have the like a tea time. The tea time we have the get gathering in once a day to drink a tea. Yeah, so because I'm be the PhD student and maybe oldest in library, so I'm be the Ichibang senpai. So I'm asked everyone. Yeah, I make the a coffee and tea. Yeah, and I ask every student to join me every 3 p.m. every day. Yeah, and then yeah, when I drinking and talking with them during the tea time, yeah, I think the Japanese guys feel more relaxing than we talking in the research. Yeah. After that, yeah, I feel I can stay in library more comfortable. Yeah, and they help me to do the research, and they teach me some knowledge in library. Yeah, that's all is my challenges.
Thank you so much, Parishato-san. Anandita-san, you had your thumb up sign.
Yes.
Would you like to share your experience?
Yeah, I can imagine how difficult it must have been, especially to talk to the, to the men at the university. So I really admire Dr. Parichat's initiative about the, tea. I guess it's afternoon tea. But anyway, so regarding how I managed stress was that, like Dr. Hafizal said, I did, involve myself in a lot of activities during the weekends. So my motto was to work hard and party harder. So not party, but I did attend a lot of events. Like I was involved in a group called Sentia, where I could go and talk in the radio and do some voluntary programs. I also participated in this project called Go Tohoku, where you could go to different parts of the Tohoku and then promote tourism there. So apart from that, we also did some homestay programs. So that was one tip that worked really well for me. And when I went to lab on Mondays, I was feeling refreshed, and then I could start working, better. The another thing that really helped me during the final years of my PhD was to take one day at a time. The idea of publishing and not being accepted, or even getting a lot of reviews from your comments from the reviewers was really quite a scary thing for me, and it really made me anxious. So what I did was I took one day at a time. I made sure that at least today I did what I had to do, and I didn't really worry about what will happen in 3 months time or in 6 months time. Just focus on today. So that is what I did to combat my anxiety.
Thank you, Anandita-san. How about you, Selma-san? How did you manage anxiety or stress or challenges while you were studying at Tohoku University?
I think for me, what I also did was to participate in a lot of activities over the weekend. And I think that what Anandita-san used to do, the Gogo Tohoku, that was what used to be called the Tohoku Tourism Ambassadors. I was also part of the organization, and we used to go around and then just, experience the Tohoku region and just advertise it to the rest of the world. And because I also had a son who was in the nursery school, the school used to organize activities for mothers especially. So sometimes we would go to the park with other mothers, or we would go to some museum for the children to go and just experience things. And then I also mentioned that I was part of the African Association. So we also used to organize a lot of activities. In my final year there, we organized the first Tohoku seminar, African seminar, where we shared a lot of experience and things that are going on in Africa and deals that Japanese and Africans are doing in various parts of Africa. So that's what I kept myself busy on. And it actually wasn't easy because you have family life and then you also have to finish your school life. But that was what helped me with the stress most of the time. And then in my lab, luckily, we had a lot of foreigners from various parts of the world. We had more foreigners than Japanese people, actually. And somehow I feel like the foreigners are a bit more open. So everybody was embracing, and we used to do things together, go to to parties or go out to eat and stuff together. So that also helped like during the week to kind of relieve some of the tension. But yeah, that was the main thing that helped me get through.
Thank you so much, Selma-san, for sharing your experience. Here's another question from a participant who registered for this event. And this is about, getting published in a journal. The question was, how do you get published in a journal? What are some of the essential components? Could I ask Parichato-san to answer these questions?
Okay, yes, yeah. Maybe I suppose there are another participant in this event. Maybe they have much more experience than me. Yeah, if you have experience, yeah, you can share and send the message in the chat box. Yeah, we can discussing each other. Yeah, for in my case, yeah, since I'm graduate, maybe almost 5 years. Yeah, I didn't have any publication. Yeah, because I make the attention to my academic career for the teaching, the give lecture, and develop the new curriculum. Yeah, that is make me have the gap from the research. Yeah, but this year, yeah, I come back to the research track. So I'm starting to write a research paper and submit to a journal. Yeah, I think maybe everyone already know that typically the process to submit the publication in the journal. Yeah, they have the maybe 2 steps. Yeah, for me, I think it's already 2 steps. Yeah, the first step is you should have the good results on your hand first. Yeah, and that result of the research should focus on the something new or something that deep in your detail or in your topic detail. Yeah, or your result has a big impact on the society. Yeah, this one is will give much more interested and more easier to get the published. Yeah, and if you already have done, you have the good results that have the much more interested. The next step is you just write down it in the paper. For doing the writing research paper, you just you have to use the correct English grammar. So in this case, it's very easy in my country because we have a lot of English company to collect the grammar, and maybe they can rewrite your sentence to be more beautiful and easy to understand. But you have to declare your result quite clear and to be easy and to understand. Yeah, and the most important is you should highlighting the result. What is the new finding in your research paper? Yeah, if you already done these 2 steps, I think you can submit your research paper to any journal that you want. But in my case, I did it to those steps. Yeah, but this year I got rejection from 4 journals. Yeah, and then I realized that when I was the PhD student, I never got rejection. And then I see, because on my research paper, I always have my supervisor name. That be my co-author. So it's never rejected. But after I came back to Thailand and I do the research by my own, I submit the research paper by my own, I found it's very difficult for the female woman researcher to publish a journal. Yeah. So I think if somebody here graduate and came back to your country and you face off the difficulty situation like me, I recommend you go to the next step. Yeah. The next step is you should find the co-author, whoever published a lot of paper. Yeah, and then you put his name to be your co-author in the research paper. Yeah, it will make you easier to get the publication. I believe. Yeah, and the finally the most important thing is you should never give up on the way. Yeah, because even though I was rejected 4 times, yeah, but I keep going on. I improve my manuscript, like deliver, make the comment, and what is the that I think it can be improved my manuscript. I collect it, yeah, and then finally, right now I got acceptance from a journal that will be published in the end of this year. Yeah, that is my that is I think is the way that I doing right now. Yeah, if you have another way and more shortcut, yeah, you can share with us right now. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Parichato-san. Hafiz-san, would you like to add any comments on this subject?
Yes, sure, no problem. It depends on Amilai organization, like for example, in University Science Malaysia, so they really encourage lecturers or their students to publish in an index journal. So it is better for you to go for ISI or Scopus. I know it is very hard to publish in high impact journals, you know, like ISI, but there are ways for you to go through on how to get your paper published, okay? And then try to avoid from predatory kind of journals where, you know, like try to make money out of it, you know, they will charge you a lot of money. So try to go with the one which is free, yeah? Sometimes you never know, you try to publish in certain journal which is a bit lower rank, but they are not accepting your proposal. But sometimes when you change to another journal which is highly impact, but they accepted it because how to say, your research area is similar to what they are looking for, okay? So basically data is very important, like what Dr. Paricha mentioned just now. So data is very important. You have to evaluate your data. You should know whether your data is actually eligible to be published at which level of journals. Yeah, if you have a very critical analysis, high impact data, then you can push your paper to a very high impact journal with higher impact factor. Okay, and then if you don't have grants, you know, like for example, you don't have grant, you don't have fund to conduct research, meaning that you cannot have your own primary data, it's still okay because you still can do review papers. So you can review papers from other researchers and then try to comment, you know, to analyze those results from those papers and still can be published in a high impact journal. And then for me, I would rather go to a very established publisher, you know, like for example, if you go with Elsevier, so under Elsevier, they have many journals, you know, that have been published. So sometimes when you go with one type of journal under Elsevier and then being rejected, your paper being rejected, but they will recommend you another journal under their label, under their publisher. So from one paper, they will divert you to, from one journal, they will divert you to another journal, another journal, another journal, until your paper is being accepted and published. Yeah. So which journal that you should target? Yeah, I think it is depend on your literature review. So when you do your literature, you will read from articles or journal itself. So meaning that if it's related to you, meaning that that particular journals can be published, yeah, your paper can be published in that particular journal. So when you do your literature, you know already which journal that you should target, yeah. And then when you try to publish in that journal, try to cite, yeah. I think you should cite papers from that journal as well. So if you put the paper from that journal in your references, so most probably they will publish your paper in that journal. And then some students or lecturer, they would go for various type of journals, journal A, B, C, and D. But for me, I would like to rather to stick with one or two journals, which is I'm comfortable with, so that I can put my presence. Yeah, like for example, if I publish in this journal and being accepted, meaning that they like my topic, my research area and whatnot, I will try to publish in that journal again, rather than I try to go with other journals. Yeah. So when I put my presence there, so hopefully in the future, they will elect me as, you know, like editor or something like that. Then, you know, I can help my school by having like special edition or special, you know, edition for that journal. Yeah, and then I think rejection is normal, so don't worry about that. You should keep on trying until your paper being published. So in the beginning of my career, I did my own publication, but later on, after I start to receive a lot of students, and then you become very busy. At the moment, I have around 6 PhD students and a few master students under research. So what I did is I monitor their writing and their publication so that I can focus at other things. Yeah. So what I did now is I focus more on grant applications, you know, try to engage with community to develop our program better or something like that. But at the same time, I do publish on my own. But most of the time, my student will help me to publish and then I co-author with them. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Parichato-san and Hafiz-san. Very informative. And I also would like to thank Adriano-san for writing comments on this subject. I'm receiving like 5 comments, questions from the participant, and I will get to these once we go through all the topics. But there's particular question for Hafiz-san about keeping your motivation. So if you could type your comments in the chat box, that would be great while we move on to the next topic of career development. Okay. So could I ask 4 of you to share your job hunting experience before or after graduating from Tohoku University? How about you, Selma-san?
So for me, as I mentioned before, my background is law. And so throughout law school, so in Ghana, I had a first degree in psychology before I went to study law, do an LLB in law. And then I went to do the professional course in law. So I did a total of 8 years of school in Ghana before I became a lawyer. And what I did was, whilst I was in school, because I knew that when we graduate, there are about 200 lawyers that come out fresh from law school, and there's going to be a lot of competition. So I did a lot of internships whilst I was in law school, like whether it was summer vacation or Christmas vacation, I was doing internships because I know that that is what's going to give you an edge over other people when you come out. And so when I came out, I first worked in a private law firm for about a year, and then I got the current job I have at the Ghana Grid Company, the energy company, because I'm more interested in energy law. And so for me, that was what really gave me an edge, having the work experience for the 4 years whilst I was in school. I would say that when it comes to hunting for jobs, because I came, like my company sent me to Japan to study, and I came back and I already had a job waiting for me. But from my experience, it's good to get as much work experience as possible. Excuse me. It's good to have as much work experience as possible. So in as much as you are busy studying or getting more experience from, you know, your social life in Japan, it's also good to do as many internships as you can. And I realized that a lot of students look for paid internships, but you shouldn't just focus on that, because what you are trying to do is build your CV. So if there's an internship that doesn't pay as much as your friend's internship, but in the end would be good on your CV, you should consider that one. And then whilst, you know, COVID-19 has been a negative thing, it's also been positive in that most companies have now moved online. So you shouldn't just look at internships in Japan whilst you are there. You can also consider some of them back home. I'm sure if there's a company that you are looking at or where you want to gain some experience, you contact them. I'm willing to work over the summer. I'm willing to work over the Christmas vacation. I'm not looking for any money. I just want to get some experience. And you can work remotely online. I'm very sure that that would really beef up your CV. So it's one of the things that you should be thinking about if you're thinking about getting jobs to do. And for me, that's been my experience, getting as much experience as possible, because I realized that that gives you an edge on the job markets. I don't know about the other participants here or other people's experience, but that was really, really good for me when I was looking for jobs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Selma-san. How about you, Parichato-san?
In my case, it's very difficult to find a job by like a recruit company. Because the position in university not open on the another website without the officially university websites. So the most important thing is maybe the alumni in Thailand. If they graduate in the same field as me, and right now they are working in the university, and they have the vacancy of the position that they can tell us through the alumni association in Thailand. I think this is a good way to contribute the news of the job hunting for the PhD student. Because as you know that the PhD student very difficult to find a job, even though in Japan, I think it's the same. So maybe the connection is the first, the key for successful to hunting a job for my career. That's all.
Thank you very much, Parishatto-san. Anandito-san, you are working for a Japanese company and you're working in Japan.
Yes.
How was your experience of finding a job in Japan?
To be honest, it was really difficult. As Dr. Parichat mentioned, it is indeed really difficult for PhD graduates to get a job in the first place. Although it was difficult, I managed to get a job through a lot of effort. It was just not just like one singular effort. I particularly sought help from Center for Career Support at Tohoku University, which I'm really grateful for. It took me around a year actually, to search for different jobs. What I did was I followed both traditional job hunting way that the master's students here do, and also kept on applying in job hunting sites such as LinkedIn. So it was quite difficult because not only did I have to compete with the current graduate students in terms of language and in terms of experiences, but because of the fact that I was already a PhD student and I was already a few years older than they are, in terms of getting hired by the traditional Japanese company, it was really difficult. I applied for almost around 45 to 50 companies, and when you apply for traditional Japanese companies, you have to write your not only just write your entry sheet, you also have to give your SPI tests. It was really tough to be honest, and I also went to a lot of setsumekai. And then did a lot of mensetsus and interviews, but although that didn't really lead me to the job that I was applying for, I actually was really happy in the sense that after accumulating all of that experiences, it really made me stronger, and I was really aware of the companies and how they how the hiring process is in Japan. So that was, I think, one of the biggest challenges of working here. I also I remember going to what was the name of the shop? I don't remember this. I think it was Aoki, to get the shukatsu suit that everyone wears. And although I did not like it, I actually didn't like it because it made me think that I was like everyone, not unique. Back at home, you are taught to be unique, but in here you have to be like everyone else. But I guess in Japan, do as Japanese do. So I wore that suit and went for a lot of job interviews. It was a really nice experience, but in the end, after applying to a lot of jobs in LinkedIn, what I realized was LinkedIn isn't actually really popular in Japan, and there is in fact another website which is called Wantedly, which was really popular here, especially among the startups. So what I was told when I got a lot of rejection letters is that, I was applying for big companies like Lion, Nomura, Soken, Mitsui Sumitomo, research companies, and then the teacher at Center for Career Support told me that it was actually difficult to begin with, even by Japanese standards. So which is why I kind of renewed my strategy, and then I started applying for a lot of startup companies. And that's how I found that this website called Wantedly had a lot of startup companies asking for designers, product managers, engineers, and so on. So that's how I found the company that I'm working for now. And yeah, so overall, it was a difficult experience, but definitely worth it. If I had to say, to say the keywords that really helped me get a job, one would be Selma said, internship, regardless of the pay. I think it's really nice to go out there and then to actually experience what you are you think you like, you think it works for you. Another thing is the language. I see a lot of participants saying that the language is important here in Japan, and it is definitely important. I did my N2 Japanese language proficiency test, N2, and also TOEFL when I was searching for jobs in Japan. And another thing is being really proactive. I think that helped me. And the final thing is networking. Networking is also a must. I did go for even though I was living in Sendai, I would occasionally come to Tokyo to attend job seminars and just a talk session by some speakers, which I think really helped me expand my professional career, not in a direct way, but in a lot of a ripple like effect. So I guess internship, language, being proactive, and networking could help you get a job in Japan.
Thank you so much, Anandita-san. What about your experience, Hafiz-san?
Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of experience because since before I came to Japan, actually I've been offered a job already. So I received a scholarship with a job offered. So the job requires me to pursue my master and PhD degree at any university around the world. So I love it so much. So I can just pick up which university that I want to go, the scholarship will pay. So the first one I applied to University of Nottingham in the UK, and then the second one I applied to Aachen University in Germany. Then I changed to Tohoku University. Yeah. So and then right after I came back to Malaysia, I've been absorbed into the working system, and then I just have to serve the contract of 7 years, to repay back all the scholarships that I have, and then I have completed the contract last year, so now I'm free. So maybe that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Wow, we're running out of time. I just sent a message to everyone. This was a question from Hernando-san about research, and I'm hoping that some of the speakers can type comments while we continue talking about the career development, okay? Since some of the participant or current Tohoku University students may be interested in working for a Japanese company, can I ask Anandita-san, about the benefits of working in Japan or working for a Japanese company, or maybe downsides?
When I saw the question, actually, what I felt was that, personally speaking, I think when you work, it's almost same everywhere. It's not the company that really matters, but I think it's rather the organization that you're working for matters. So, but anyway, the upsides, I guess, for working in Japan is that normally it's much better. It has a lot of much better benefits in terms of benefits when I compare this to my country. For example, the maternity leave, the childcare leave are really great. I actually am 8 months pregnant now, so I'm planning to take my maternity leave from next week. So from December 25, I'll be taking the maternity leave, and I have an option to either continue my job after a few months after delivery, or maybe stay at home and take care of the baby until next year. So I think in terms of that kind of benefits is really nice. The other thing is that what I learned about work in Japan is that you get to be really majime. You get to be really serious about your work. I guess, which is good in some sense, because I come from a culture which is comparatively quite carefree, to be honest, and it kind of puts you work mode, and then you have to be really majime and do your work. So I guess in some sense, the work ethics is really good. The downsides of working in Japanese companies, definitely the language. I think there is a lot of language barrier, especially in terms of expressing yourself. Although if I had to speak and communicate in English, it's really easy for me. But the same thing, if my co-worker explains to me in Japanese, it does take me some time to understand, and it does take me a while to reflect and then process it in my head and then reply. So in that sense, there is definitely a language barrier, and I don't think no matter how fluent in Japanese you are, I think it's always difficult if difficult in to work in a language that is not your native, not native to you. So I guess in that sense it's a little bit difficult. And I'm thinking that when it comes to working in Japan, the working hours, and because to be really honest, it is notorious for working for a long, Japan is notorious for working for longer hours. So in that sense, I think my company is quite flexible in that if you finish your work, and if you finish your work by 8 hours, you can you are free to leave your work. So I am actually quite lucky in that sense that we have a flexible time system. So I guess that is the ups and downs of working in Japan.
Thank you so much for your comments, Anandita-san. Hafiz-san, could you talk a little bit about how your study or research experience at Tohoku University affect your career?
One thing that when I arrived in Japan, there's a lot of I feel very tired when I arrive in Japan because I have to keep up with Japanese people's face. But when I came back to Japan, I feel very good because I'm the fastest of all. So everyone have to keep up with me. So it's a good training for me, when I was in Japan, even for example, if you call someone in your lab, people used to run, they have small steps and run to, yes, can I help you? Can I assist you? That is something, like what Japanese do. So I try to, impose that kind of, experiences to Malaysia. Otherwise, it's useless for me to get all this experience in Japan, but you didn't transfer the knowledge or experience to my community back home. So I try to, motivate my students and colleagues and staff about working values in Japan, how things are done in Japan, to be punctual, but sometimes even though it's hard, punctuality is something that nobody can beat Japanese on this earth. So those are the things, values that I bring back, and actually it keeps me apart from my colleagues, because I don't know about other institutions, but in my university it's very, very hard to be promoted. So it will take long years to be promoted into associate professor or professor. For example, when this year I've been promoted as associate professor, and then I messaged my sensei, you know, like, hey sensei, finally I've been promoted as associate professor. You know what did he reply? Why took you so long? After 7 years, like, what took you so long? So I said, oh my God, this is the fastest that I can go, like, in my country. So, but I understood, like, how the working, you know, system in Japan, you know, you're always producing and producing, but in my country, there's a lot of, you know, issues like, many of us, when the country send us abroad, so they want our expert back home. So like Dr. Paricha from Thailand, when you come back, you have to establish, you know, modules, courses, you know, programs and whatnot. So it does consume a lot of your time. So I bet it happens to many, you know, students after they return back home, including myself. So yeah, I think that's all that I can share.
Thank you so much, Hafiz-san. Selma-san, would you like to talk about how your study or research experience at Tohoku University affects your career?
I think just like Hafizal, it was also the same, because when you get to Japan, everything is like really fast, at a fast pace. And then when you come back to your country, it slows down. And then you have to try and make sure that, you know, you keep things at that pace. And I know there's a joke sometimes when we have meetings and I get there really early, people come in and they say, you know, the meeting was supposed to start at 10 o'clock Ghana time, not 10 o'clock Japanese time. You know, it's a joke that they make because I always get there really early. And so that's one of the major things I took away, the discipline. And it's one of the things that I try to make sure that I still instill in my work here, the discipline that I learned from Japan and the discipline when it comes to the research. And I think that in Japan, because most of the studies are mainly research-based, which is not what we do in Ghana. It was something that when I came back to Ghana, you know, making presentations and speaking to people about what I'm working on was much easier than before I left. So that has been a positive for me since I came back.
Thank you very much. Wow, we only have 8 minutes left. Thank you so much. I know that Parichato-san and Hafiz-san are involved in alumni association in your countries. What kind, do you offer any networking opportunities for alumni or for current Tohoku University students?
Should I start first?
Sure.
Okay, so basically, since I returned to Malaysia, we have established this Sendai community as the name of our WhatsApp group. So there's a lot of ex-Tohoku University student in there. We are continuing, you know, discussing, you know, sometimes we do hang out and play football and whatnot, you know, try to keep the network, you know, alive and continue. But there is no a well-structured society or something like that as alumni of Tohoku University. So this year, I think about it, and then I mean, like during our previous alumni session, I mean, like I proposed to Sumatsu Sensei, and then I proposed that is it okay if I want to be the leader to, you know, gather all these ex-Malaysian Tohoku University students, you know, and then she said, okay, why not? Yeah, let's go for it. So then I start to develop this form, and then I start to find ex-students, yeah, in Malaysia. I try to trace them. I ask a student to send to their friends or their senpai, their kohai, you know, seniors and juniors, and try to get as much as possible. So at the moment, I managed to get 50 registrations from students who are graduated since 1987 or 1988. So since 1988, and then the current one is still studying PhD at Tohoku University. So I think it's a good opportunity for both parties. I mean, like for me, we can, you know, strengthen our bond and then try to give awareness or give more information to our kohai, our juniors who would like to pursue their studies in Japan or in Tohoku University. And then for Tohoku University, it's a good platform for you to gain valuable information from us. You know, like for example, in which area that our country focusing in sending students to Japan, you know, what are the subject the field of study that most Malaysian prefer, you know. Like, I think that would be a good info sharing between Tohoku University as well as our organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to add any comments, Parichato-san?
Yes, for Thailand, yeah. Since the Tohoku University established the office in Thailand since 2016, yeah, and be the coordinator of the office in Thailand. Yeah, we established the Tohoku University alumni in Thailand since 2017, and right now we have the member about nearly 100 people. Yeah, but I believe in Thailand we have much more than 100 people that graduate from Tohoku University. So the 2 years ago, yeah, we developed the committee of the Tohoku University alumni in Thailand. So every 2 years, yeah, we will select the new person to be the committee. Yeah, and we will hold some activities like because right now almost all of the alumni students graduate from the PhD student. So most of the activity will be involved in the research. Yeah, we make the seminar, right? The annual seminar, right? Research seminar. So we will select the research person who will be the professional in that field, and we will ask the Tohoku University professor, yeah, selected the same field, and then came to Thailand and give the presentation together, like a parallel presentation from between Thailand and Japan. Yeah, we did it almost 2 years, yeah, 2 times, yeah, and we already have the second meeting seminar. But this year, yeah, it's very special years because we cannot hold that activity, yeah. But maybe we will have plan to do it by the online, like we doing right now, yeah. And yeah, the most important thing right now, we try to develop the research network between the Thai Tohoku alumni. Yeah, somebody already make the proposal each other to get the funding, and they're going to work together. Yeah, right now. And for myself, I also, yeah, I make the research network with the senpai from Tohoku University. And moreover, I developed the connection, not just for in Thailand. Yeah, I also collaborate with the alumni from another country. Like this year, yeah, my Indonesian friend, yeah, who graduated from Tohoku University as well, he asked me to join his project, the research project with his sensei in Japan, in Tohoku University. And we developed the proposal together to get a funding from an organization. But finally we failed. Yeah, but we think it is a good start that we can get together between the international Tohoku University alumni. And we will keep going on, yeah, to get the funding, and we hope that in future we could work together and get more chance to we work together and we closer than right now. Yeah, that is all that we already did it. Right.
Okay, thank you very much, Parichato-san. We're running out of time. So for those who sent me questions for the alumni privately, I will try to do my best to get answers from the speakers and maybe email them to you. I hope that's okay. But we need to close the event shortly. But let's thank all the speakers. Give them a round of applause for sharing their experiences. Thank you so much. Okay. And before we close the event, we would like to announce that the Tohoku University Alumni English website will be launched next year, as you can see on the screen. So on this website, you'll be able to obtain various information, and you will also be able to read alumni feature stories. And we're hoping that the alumni will be able to use this website for the purpose of networking and developing research collaboration as well. So, just as Parichato-san talked about. So please stay tuned. And we hope to continue expanding the alumni network. And in doing so, your feedback is very important to us. So we would appreciate your completing the online survey shown on the screen. You can also click the URL in the chat box shortly. It should be available shortly. And so I would appreciate if you could answer the survey. Can we see the link? I don't see the link, but I hope my colleague will send the URL to the chat box shortly. And I'm sorry, PR person is saying something. Get everyone to take a picture. Can you speak, Melissa? I need to finish it up. Okay, never mind, maybe. Okay, so, oh, here's the link. Okay, great. Thank you very much. So finally, on behalf of Tohoku University, we would like to once again thank everyone for participating in the Alumni Online Talk Session tonight. Please continue to stay safe and stay connected. And we hope to see you at the next alumni event. And finally, we wish you a peaceful and joyful holiday season. Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today.